Oh, hello, welcome to the channel. I got up this morning and the fire was out. And I put these 3 blocks of wood on the ash and it's sort of kindling stuff, that stuff. It's not very good kindling. It's an old chair that I had. I put them on top and I thought, I don't think it's going to go. I don't have any newspaper or firelighters. So I went through doing my, looking at the videos. Come back through, look, it's on! I left the door open a wee bit. It makes it go, see, like that. So fantastic. I mean, this is real human stuff. This, you know, fires, and it's, you know, it's a really excellent way of keeping warm in your house. You know, and don't listen to the crap the government's telling you. That's a lot of shit. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. They import wood from Canada to burn in power stations, and then they turn around and lie to us and tell us that our electric cars are running on renewables, which they aren't. And then they turn around and say you can't light a fire, you can't drive a car. So the lunacy needs to stop. So you need to do your bit, however small it may be. Anti-human people have invaded. I think really, if you start looking at the Bible and stuff, the Bible, yeah, there's evil people, and that's what they are. They don't like us humans. They want us dead. Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab. I know that there's more, but the lunatics are our government, greedy bastards that are all too willing to take money from them. So it needs to take. There has been 1 or 2 MPs and that stood up to them, but it takes courage, and you have to be willing, you know, to lose a lot of money. That's where you know, if you don't have a sound basis. I don't have a sound basis of you know, family or background or anything like that. If you don't have a good foundations, they can come after you. For example, if you don't have a, you know, if you don't have a good marriage or stuff, they'll come after you and they'll get you. I mean, so I was watching a video last night about spiritual stuff, about death, and it really struck me. My dad died in 2019, February. My mum died 2018, and my sister has always been horrible to me. And I can't explain why, other than she's horrible herself. She is a horrible person, but you know, that is the truth. And when he died, I was at Stirling University. So my brother, I mean, he's like, out of the family dynamic, there's 3 of us, well there's actually 4 of us, but that's another thing I can't say too much about, although I've just said it. Right, okay, let's not go into that side, but we'll leave that out. So my brother lives in Hobart, Tasmania. I lived at that time in Galashiels, the Scottish borders, and my sister lived and does live in Inverness, which was near where my parents lived. And when he died, my brother was called for his death, right? For all intents and purposes, that's what it was. And he flew all the way from Hobart to Spinningdale and near Tain, and yet I was in Galashiels and was not told until probably, it was like an afterthought when my brother phoned me later on in the afternoon, that was like an afterthought, you know. And it was because, so when I watched this video last night, sorry, I'm rambling on here, but when I watched the video last night, I mean, I got on alright with my dad, but they didn't, I don't think they liked it. Well, certainly my sister didn't like that. But my brother is a sort of one of these acquiescent types. He doesn't have, well, I physically don't have any testicles, but he morally doesn't have any. So I lost my testicles actually physically because they got removed. But my brother doesn't have any. He does have testicles, but they don't fucking work. He's got no balls. And he's the type of man that you know, are quite all too common these days. Cyclist, you know. Cyclist and a bit of a fanny really, you know. All the gear, works for the health service. See, there's something, I always thought that people who worked in the health service were, they automatically meant they were good, you know, but that doesn't mean that at all. And I didn't realise that until recently, last 2 or 3 years. It's quite sinister. They can be quite sinister. They're quite evil, yeah. But it's got this lovely sort of appearance, smiling faces, you know. And they're going to fill you full of drugs. Anyway, so it occurred to me, so what this guy said was that when people are about to die, you know, there's different ways, and you know, there's people who fight it. He says that people who fight it can have a more unpleasant death than those who don't. Can have a more pleasant death. Depends what, I don't exactly know what that means, but he said that, that very, very typically, and this is regardless of what you think or say or what you're going to do or how you think it might be, blah, 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 blah. What he said was, and I'm just saying what he said, this could, you know, it's his experience, life experience, that, and his professional experience that's allowing him to allude to these things. And what he's saying is that they want loved ones who are not there, you know. So in my dad's case, that would have been me, right? And the thing is, my sister was such a cow that he might well have been wanting me, but I don't know that because she's such a liar. She lies about everything. And so if you can have an altered, I believe some people have an altered reality. And then she was doing that all the time when I was up there helping clear out the house and stuff. I couldn't really do that. I had to get away. All I did was cleared out the garage. So we got to take I had 7 loads of cardboard boxes in my car to take to the tip. And then somebody phoned and she said it was somebody else that did it. She is an evil bastard, right? And but that's fine, you know. She'll get her comeuppance. Everybody does, because we all got to face this at some point. And so basically, what happened was, it struck me because I always felt like that he didn't like love me or this is about me. This is me talking about me and my situation with him, and he might well have done, but she would have not phoned me or contacted me, and that twat didn't want to fall out with her. There was ample opportunity for him to. There was so many things wrong that she did, and he didn't do anything. He just fucked off in his push bike. Do you know when my mother died? You know the thing that really annoys me about that fucking arsehole was when my mother died, he went on a bike race. When we were all up there after the funeral, that cunt went up a hill on a bike. And then all these other fucking twats were talking about how he got on his bike. What sort of weirdo is that? You've got a bike, your mother's dead, and you go on a bike race. You know what I mean? It's like, oh well, that'll ease the pain. But it wasn't really like that. It was just inappropriate. You know, it's me. It's people that are selfish. They're incredibly selfish. My family certainly are anyway. Well, they're not my family. They're related to me. So we just sort of we don't communicate. You know. Certainly, as far as the eldest one, well, this is our thing, the eldest one. Who's the fucking eldest one? But anyway, so It's not unusual, you know. I could go on, but from that perspective, that is denying someone of that of that basic. It's quite. They can be quite sinister, evil people, which I believe my sister is an evil person. Can be quite sinister. She's very low in intelligence, so that makes it easier. IQ's pretty iffy. I think she's not a retard, but I would say she was next door to a retard, so to speak. Any thicker and she would have been like special needs. And she just managed to not be special needs. There's a lot of people, well, Jordan Peterson speaks about this quite a lot, in, you know, our society who are thick, right? And they need jobs to do. And what happened is, well, actually society failed her. Feminism failed her. Because she spent most of her life snatching money that wasn't hers. Snatching and grabbing at money because of her addiction to spending money on shit. And that is not uncommon. And in the old days, the man... This is where... I'm rambling on here, but this is where the patriarchy is such crap, right? The patriarchy... There was a lady on Facebook, an artist, right? And she put some paintings on Facebook. She's actually really good paintings. And she was going on about the patriarchy. And then, you know, her brain has been infested with bullshit, right? And it totally put me off her paintings. I'm not interested in her paintings. And her paintings are really good. But to be espousing such shit shows it. And she's one of these middle class women, and you know, British women, middle class. You know, she's got an art studio at the back of the house, lives in reasonable middle class situation. So you're full of shit. So patriarchy is... What they really mean is responsibility. And man was the one that had the responsibility. And that wasn't all fun and games. That was standing between the family and tyranny. You know, it'd be somebody coming out to take your house away, or you might have to go and fight, go to war. A whole load of things that men had to do. So I'm rambling on a bit here, but... So my sister was able to reject men. She was able to get money from them and then reject them. And a lot of women do that. That's our modern Western civilization. I'm going to have to get back a bit because it gets too hot and this phone cuts out. It cuts out and it gets too hot. So she was able to reject men, but she was able to live off them, feed off them, get money from them, and that's what she did with my dad. She got rid of the men that fucked her, got her pregnant, and then lived off my dad. And so he was the man that was the provider for her. And because my brother fucked off the other side of the world, and that says a lot, you know. But yeah, she really was a half-wit. I mean, is a half-wit. A total fucking moron. You could not find somebody more stupid than that fucking idiot. You know, and I got rejected. She did a lot of nasty things to keep me out. And my dad was alright in the end. My mother was a total cow as well. Yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe blasphemy to speak about your mother and stuff, but at the end of the day, well, people need to be accountable, you know. So I've got that thing about old people. They can't go around bullying people and get away with it, you know. We've all got to be accountable. So I mean, I've failed to maintain relationships with my relatives and family, and it's just the way it goes, you know. I'll end up dying all lonely. I had 5 children, one of them died in suspicious circumstances. Right, so it's getting too hot now. It's going to shut down. Oh no. Well, maybe it's good for you don't have to listen to this crap. Some functions disabled by temperature rise. It's protecting the phone, isn't it? I suppose really what I'm really talking about, sorry if this cuts out, I've stepped back away from the fire, is I am perhaps a symptom of wealth, wealth as in the middle class, the rise of the middle classes in Scotland. Obviously, I live in Great Britain, the United Kingdom. I'm British. So my brother rejected all that sort of thing. A lot of these colonialist types do that. So he's like a pseudo socialist, like a Tony Blair type. And this fucking idiot actually owns. It's unbelievable. He actually owns three houses. So he's a socialist. You know, full of shit. Bollocks. Socialism, yeah, really? And you own three houses? You had the option not to own three houses, but you didn't take it. Yeah? You didn't take it, you fucking dickhead. The option 3 was to own the third house. And what did you do? You just went along with it, didn't you? So you either wanted to own three houses, or you didn't want to fall out with the fucking psycho sister. Because you're scared of her, aren't you? You're not scared of me, but you're scared of her. Because you can brush me off like I'm nothing. But that's fine, because you'll face some music. Everybody does, if you aren't already. And your dumb fucking kids as well. Fucking arseholes, a lot of them. Anyway, right, this is getting a bit bitter and twisted. So I think that what's happened is we've all become we haven't all become we haven't all become wealthy. We haven't. There's a lot of people struggling now. Well, it's getting clawed back is what's happening. The money and wealth is getting clawed back from the poor, and so that they can't afford a car, they can't afford a house. So if you're poor and you're working what does that mean? Well, if you're working minimum wage and you've got children, it's very difficult. What's happened? They've closed the door on normal families. That's what they've done, the globalists. Like man, women, have children, they've got jobs, just reasonable jobs, not big paying jobs. They cannot afford to compete in this modern manifestation of normality. So that's how most of the women will end up ditching the men. They're better off without them. You get men homeless, men wandering around. They're fucked. It's been clearly. I mean, it is. I talk about these things from a position that I failed with all these things. I'm not talking from a position that I've done it all right and everybody else is idiots. I'm not talking from that position. I'm talking from the position of incompetence, but a position of enlightenment as well. You know, with the gender change that I did. So they talk about gender. So I changed from male to female in 2010. I had an operation in 2014. Obviously I've learned a lot about that. Maybe that's for a separate video. But I learned a lot about... I'm enlightened as to the mistakes that I made and the mistakes that we made and the mistakes that everybody else is making. And that can causes a deep depression with me, yeah, at times. And better, maybe being ignorant would be better. You know, not knowing anything. Anyway, I don't know if this is working right, because it's still got a little thing coming up saying some functions disabled by temperature rise, but I've stepped away from the fire. I think the boots are actually dry by now. Anyway, so what I've got to do is just go on with things and get... sorry if that was a bit bitter. But it hit me yesterday that my dad might have wanted to see me and they didn't tell me until... This is the thing about doing the right thing, you know? So that cow obviously alerted him from Inverness to Hobart, Dad's dying, you better come back. And he didn't phone me and she didn't phone me. So now you sit there and you think, so like imagine you got swindled out a lot of money or something, right? Which that was attempted, that didn't happen, but there was an attempt on the go for that. If after all is said and done, you sit there and what annoys you the most, and it's something that doesn't cost money or hasn't got any value. So I'm getting somewhere with this, about what families, and this is a broken family, and maybe it's just broken for me, but I think it's a broken family, and it's probably not unusual, and I don't really have anything to do with any of them. I think most of them are horrible, All I really want is equality and equity, and that's not to be had there. And I'm not talking about the actual divvying up of anything. I'm talking about treating people respectfully. But they lie so much that if you get involved with them, you'll end up with egg on your face. The lies, because there's nobody really knows the truth. And the problem is that you have to stay away from them, otherwise you become implicated in the games, and then you can be scapegoat. Well, I always was family scapegoat. I always have been. And that's with the broader family. And the only relatives I actually got on with are ones that I didn't know about. I've met some of them down here that my dad never told me about. For some reason we never got told about them. And of course with the internet we found out, well, I found out about them. So the immediate ones, I don't get on with anyone, or I don't have a relationship with them. And you know, I think I've got this platform and I can say stuff, you know. It's my platform and I'll say my truth, you know. If anybody doesn't like it, then they'll just get blocked. They won't ever say. Or they can go and say it somewhere else, but they won't be able to say it here. They can say it briefly here, then it'll get deleted or blocked. I don't think any of them watch my videos anyway, but plus I've got like 9,000 videos, so it's difficult to catch up with them all. Right, so I'm going to end that now. I'm rambling on a bit too much. I don't know if that's very helpful, but I think it would be better to take this in the context of the broader meaning of it and my experiences. Don't concentrate on my experiences. You know, don't get in touch with my sister or brother, for example, or the other one, that's another strange situation that I had to get away from. The other alleged one. Yeah, which seems fairly certain, actually, but not following paperwork though. Right, so thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye. End video now.